From 100x's down to 3s, 4s, and 5x's, the Launchpad space is starting to get saturated, and we're no longer seeing pre-sale buyers aping in to these new Uniswap gems. But this certainly isn't doom and gloom, and it actually presents an opportunity for those who don't get in pre-sales to actually make some moves for these rather new hot coins. So now we have opportunity to find the next 10x gem from the pre-sale tokens. As with everything in crypto, we go through massive peaks and troughs. Just a month ago, people were bearish on Ethereum, and look at the sentiment today. It's the same with pre-sales. We're going to go through these periods where they're really, really hot, and then when they cool off for a while. And right now, we're in a cool off period. But in my view, they will come back with a vengeance. Now, if you like educational content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and keep your eyes peeled for my course dropping this week, Crypto for Beginners. So you missed the pre-sale. You're starting to feel the FOMO as things are hotting up on social media, but you don't know whether to buy or not. So the first question to pose is, when should we buy in? Now we've got a lot of data on previous pre-sales to look at. We're going to have a little look at just a couple right here and now. The first one starting with shadows, and this is kind of the blueprint pre-sale for a hyped launch. So the likes of PokerStarter and Paid do very well with their marketing, and you see a lot of hype going into these ones. And so if we look at the chart, this is a picture you'll see 1,000 times over many PokerStarter and Paid Ignition launches. You have on day one a battle between bots and early FOMO buyers. You have a big red wick. Of course, that's not made up just of sellers, but there's a lot of buyers in there as well. But on the whole, those who buy on day one are not being efficient with their capital. As this kind of picture plays out, you have this hype period over the first few days, but the volume starts to fade away. Hype fizzles out. Those who've actually bought the tokens have managed to successfully do so at this point, and those who want to dump their token take full advantage. So typically when you fast forward a few weeks, the sell pressure may continue from some pre-sale investors, but if there's no big marketing pushes, there's no big releases, the price is inevitably going to continue to fall. This is often because the project in question has not yet fulfilled its goals or really turned out its main items from the roadmap. So in the case of DAOs here, they're going to launch their stuff around Q3 and Q4, so quite some time away. So when buying into this kind of pre-sale, you're best off leaving it for a good month and seeing where the land lies. Often we settle around new points of support that are formed. You'll notice here around the $1 level, we have some buyers that step in. As you can see, once we zoom in, there's a big green candle around that $1 level. So you can start to see where you should be placing your buy orders. Now this pre-sale was called Stater, and this one was a flash launch on TrustSwap and I believe the CyberFi Samurai Launchpad as well. As they had such a small raise, there was a lot of FOMO built up from this one. And so as not many people could buy into it early on at pre-sale levels, they had to buy in once the market opened. And this actually drove the price up for quite some time. So even from the pre-sale, 2 weeks in, it was still trending upwards. However, as we see with most of these coins, they do fade out over time. And this is where the opportunity now lies. Shadow's market cap, $10 million. The Stater market cap is around $10 million as well. This only shows the FTV, fully diluted market cap on DEX tools, but you've got to dig around and have a look into Etherscan, for example, and see how many tokens are actually released. And you can get a good picture of what's happening with these various projects. So as we see, the best time to purchase these pre-sale tokens is about a month or two after they've launched. You can see it's put in a bottom down here, and with DAOs, it started to put in a bottom down here as well. So this is the time when you want to be thinking about getting into these, not FOMOing in really early on. Now let's look at a case study here called Public Mint. This is one that I missed out on. I would like to have got in at pre-sale, and it's one that I'm eyeing up currently. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go and buy this coin. Do your own research. So I had a comment on a recent video called Smoothie Finance where someone was rather irate calling me a scammer. However, I don't really take this personally, But this does feel like some education is missing for some new individuals to the space. If you see a pre-sale token, when do you think influencers are going to be posting about it? People are going to be posting about it around the time it launches, as this is when most eyeballs are going to be on the project. YouTube rewards you for getting views, and if you're getting views, you're in turn getting subscribers. This is the aim of the game. So when people review these cryptocurrencies as they launch, it is, of course, to gain views. It does not nullify the information that people talk about, though, as many of these are good projects. But when you see the likes of 100x low cap gem, next $1 billion coin, 100x DeFi gem, public mint IDO Will Moon, this kind of bullish sentiment, it is to attract eyeballs. So what you should really be doing if you're interested in a crypto is actually watching the video, consuming what's being said, and seeing if the fundamentals of the project make sense to you, and do you think it's going to go up in the long run. On this channel, we're looking to make long-term investments, buying things, holding them for at least 6 months, letting them develop, and then taking profits at a later stage when they've made large returns. So Public Mint is now at an $18 million market cap, had a very hyped launch, and it has pulled back. But this, of course, is opportunity in the market. Public Mint has a very good product offering, and currently it's only on Uniswap still. And I know a lot of people are annoyed about Uniswap and the fees, but currently we're at around 41 Gwei, and there's currently a pre-sale ongoing. So I think around 30 odd Gwei is what you're going to pay, maybe 10, 15 bucks for a transaction. So it's nowhere near as bad as it was a few months back. This does allow you to actually dollar cost average into a position, depending of course on the size of your budget. If you've only got $100 to play with, it's going to be hard to DCA in, but that would be the advice that I would always suggest to do. Now this is the chart here. What does DCA mean? Dollar cost average. This is where you spread your purchases out over a number of purchases over a set time frame. Typically what I would do if I was going to make a long-term acquisition of a coin, I would maybe set up 5 dates at which I'm going to purchase. And then I would be buying across an average rather than FOMOing in at one particular point. And if you were to, for example, have bought up here, put all of your eggs in one basket at $1.96, you'd be feeling pretty sick when the price goes down to 79 cents. So by averaging in along this period, you might get an average price of around 85 cents, which isn't all that bad. At the end of the day, you're never going to time the top to sell or the bottom to buy. And if you haven't used DEX tools, I would certainly go on here, have a play around, as this has all the market data for those who launch on Uniswap. So maybe you've seen a pre-sale that you like. So in my case, I've seen this one that I do like. You can find out a lot of information on a project very easily and quickly. We're in the information age and everything's at your fingertips now. So straight off the bat, Public Mint, what does it do? It offers a powerful and simple payment system and access to the best opportunities in DeFi, no bank account required. So we know straight off the bat this is permissionless. It's going to have some form of DeFi incentives and earn program. You're not going to have to KYC, and you're going to be able to send payments presumably globally. Now I have done my own research on this one previously. This is not the subject of today's video. It is a good project, however. Now if we scroll through, we can see the earn launches in Q3. So this is where you're going to be able to deposit your funds and earn on top of them. That would be a price catalyst in my mind. They've also got some very good quotes on here from industry leaders talking about the benefits of using Public Mint. So the exec from Hyperledger here, we're excited to see Public Mint tackle the challenges of programmable currency and frictionless transfer of funds. We look forward to seeing Public Mint's innovative mindset. Also leading industry backers and some notable partners. So when we go back to the price chart and it looks rather bearish right now, well, there's quite a lot in the pipeline. And it would seem that we've bottomed a couple of times here at around 72 cents, and we're hovering just above it right now. So entering into this market a few months after launch saves you quite a bit of a roller coaster ride, and you've got an opportunity here to look to buy the dip and DCA in. One of the major benefits of these Launchpad products is the fact it gets so many eyeballs on the project. It stands it in good stead for the rest of the bull market. How many new projects do you know can boast almost 30,000 followers on Twitter and a similar number over on Telegram? It's a rather big community they're able to build up as a result. Looking through their Medium, we can find the IDO start date. So this was a launch on the 26th of February, and the price was 10 cents. There was just a 250K raise for IDO participants. All things to factor in and think about. If you hop into their Telegram chat and you use the search function, top left-hand side, type in some key search terms that you want to know about, you find the information really quickly and easily. Someone asked here to an admin, will the Mint and ETH LP rewards continue? And he says, yes, it will continue for at least another month, but likely longer. And this was posted just yesterday. So we know straight off the bat, LP rewards are going to continue for this token. Also within Telegram, we can pull up the tokenomics and the liquidity rewards down here for the Uniswap LP pools, 12.5 million in total. So if this started on the 26th of February when TGE went live and the Uniswap pool went live as well, and it's lasting 6 months, we know we've got till March, April, May, June, July, August for these coins to hit the market. So I would say it's likely we're going to see some selling pressure from these LPs who are getting handsomely rewarded right now, as they're going to take those free coins that they're getting paid daily and probably dump them on the market. So there's likely to be some sell pressure here. On top of that, we can see that the token unlock dates start after a 3-month cliff for seed, private round 1 and private round 2 investors. So again, from the 26th of February, March, April, May, we know that the end of May, there's going to be a token release for all of these guys, and they're going to be delivered over the following 9 months. So my expectation right now is that we are going to be range bound around this level, around the high to mid 70 cent region. In 3 weeks' time, we're going to see some further potential dumps come into play from the pre-sale investors, on top of the liquidity mining rewards currently going on, which total 33,333 per day. So if I'm going to DCA into this one, I'm going to set a reminder on the 26th of May to check on the price of this and see if there's a dump. We don't know if the seed round investors will dump. If they're smart, which they're likely to be smart, they won't be dumping directly on the market, trying to shed all of their tokens whilst the price is down here. They'll be looking to sell when the price goes up so they can really take some further profits. So at a $17 million market cap, Earn program coming, they're producing the mobile application as well for a release apparently in Q3. They do have partnerships lined up with banks, and this was one of the most highly anticipated launches thus far. There's a lot in the pipeline that's going to be coming for this project. So this is where I see there being value in looking at some of these pre-sales after they've launched. So maybe if you've bought this one, you bought the top earlier and now you're kind of regretting it, thinking, okay, maybe this is just going to go down and down and down. I don't think so. I think we are in for a very nice ride upwards. And if I just show you some historical data here to put into context, December 2017, this is when the last massive altcoin boom took place. We saw a real parabolic rise in altcoins, and many real shitcoins did pump super hard. If we just scroll down a bit, there's loads on here that you will just not even know what they are because they came and then they went. Now, if we go down to 103, a token called Poet, literally placing blockchain and publishing together in a mashup and then telling you that by putting publishing on the blockchain, it makes it immutable and it makes it timestamped so you can always find what you published. Essentially, it's a nothing burger. This coin pumped to $205 million in market cap. If you look at the chart today, it died a death. This goes to show that any good projects are going to rip off during the full-blown alt tsunami. There's now more money than ever in these markets and people are developing usable products. When you couple that with a good product and with good tokenomics, like Public Mint does have, in my opinion, not financial advice, the potential for 10, 20x gains from some of these pre-sales that have already launched is definitely on the cards. So I hope I've given you a bit of food for thought in this episode today and shown you some of the thinking behind what I'm looking at in the market right now. New tokens are often the ones with more clear skies above them, less salty bag holders, and are often innovating the fastest. So let me know down below. Have you given up on pre-sales, or do you think there's still value to be had? And are you going to start to use this kind of method and blueprint in looking at some of the really hyped launches and seeing where they've pulled back to now? Make sure you subscribe if you're new here, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.